Maria from Greece. I'm 28 years old and for the past 6 months I've been an EVS volunteer at Grenzenlos. And this is my project. It's called Where Do We Stand? And it explores the status of disability in different countries. So, shall we start?
I'm Masha and I'm from Russia. I'm 20.
I am Nadin and 34 years old.
Well, I'm Maria. I come from Greece. I'm an EVS volunteer in Grenzenlos for 4 months now. And I'm an English teacher.
I am Nadin. I live in Vienna. I am a volunteer in Grenzenlos and I had this hotel.
I am 30 years old. I am originally from Poland, but I was born and I live in Athens, Greece. Quiet, messy city. I studied communication, media and culture in Athens, which basically means I studied journalism. And I am a journalist in theory. But in practice, I do more human rights activism, youth activism, disability activism.
Wow.
And also a travel blogger.
Yeah, my name is Ben. I am 27 years old. I work at Cebus, a schooling center for people with visual impairment and blindness.
My disability is cerebral palsy. It affects my movement and I don't have good balance most of the time.
I've been disabled since 2011 when I ate something wrong.
Wow.
And so I know both sides, how it was before and how it is now.
Well, I've got a visual impairment. I can see 10% with my glasses on and just with my right eye.
I have spinal muscular atrophy. In short, it's called SMA. Maybe people have heard it that way. Which means that basically I have weak muscles, and that I don't have mobility. I need assistance during most time of the day and even of the night, to turn around in the bed and stuff like that. So I need the personal assistance.
It's a little hard to explain. I had a disability. My bones are not right, and the hand and on the feet.
Actually, at the moment I don't work, and that's the most important difference, I think. So I studied textile design and I am a designer now, and I have all the ideas in my head still, but they cannot come out as I'm not able to produce things with my hands really. But I'm trying a lot and therefore somehow it comes out a bit.
Depends on where in Austria people live, because most of the time on the countryside you have sometimes people who don't know how to react to people with disabilities, and for sure you have some people with this state of mind in the city as well. But there are also people who, just don't care.
Is perceived by the medical model of disability, when disabled people are perceived as poor or as sick people that need to be fixed, that need care, cure, love and stuff like that. But it's starting to change. The situation is better than it was, 20 years ago, and I'm sure it will be better in 20 years.
Well, in Greece there's still a lot of prejudice about disability, that people with disabilities need protection and help all the time, that they should be sheltered or stay at home. But in the last years it started to change, and many people come forward, participate actively in life and become kind of activists. Like, there is a big movement that's about theater and disability, and we have a lot of disabled artists. We have also lots of people that are writing texts or doing seminars, conferences, trainings, or whatever they want to do to promote disability and to really put it out there and make disability visible. So it really started to change, and of course it's different. In the countryside, there is more prejudice than in the big cities. In the big cities, the situation is much better.
Actually, people are very helpful, and usually I have no obvious disadvantages. Of course, I cannot go in every spot or disco, so I won't be because of the stairs and things like that, as I sit in a wheelchair. But people are usually very helpful.
In Russian society, it's shame to be disabilities. It's shame to use wheelchairs, and everyone stare on you when you just came out of the house. And but I think from year to year it's become better, because people talk about it. People do some things, some project, to involve people like me in life.
Depending on the countries of the part of the world and in their social and economical status and everything, they see disability very differently. So you have, for example, Balkans, which this is a situation for us is not very good, and we are perceived as poor disabled people, sick, and that we need the care of our families, and that families should be responsible for us and stuff like that. And you have other countries like Northern European, Scandinavian countries, UK, Japan, when USA, when disabled people are much more advanced and they are integrated in the society. They have a lot of rights. They have independent living, personal assistance.
Difference in Austria is the metro station. It's very impressed me because it's accessible for people in the wheelchair, and in Russia we had never heard about something like that, and you can just take train and go anywhere you want to go. It's amazing. Also in the streets where low borders for the wheelchair is very useful thing. So it's great.
I've been in Austria for 4 months now. It's really a great experience for me. An eye-opening experience, I have to say. I have learned a lot about disability. Here in Austria, especially in Vienna, because I only lived in Vienna so far, it's like things are much more accessible, buildings, U-Bahns and everything. People are much more open towards disability. They speak openly about it, they promote it, and they also push people with disabilities to be more open and active. Yeah, the situation is much more better. It's not perfect yet, but it's really much better. Rome wasn't built in a day, but Austria and Vienna is in a good way.
I have many opportunities and possible to do many things. Also because there is a great support by the state.
No, I don't have.
I have equal opportunities because the situation becomes better and better, as I already said, but I think that people must know about each other.
Most of the times, no. For some things I had to work twice as hard and fight twice as hard to get them. Like for employment, for school, or for pretty much everything. But then again, I think now this was a good thing because it made me stronger and more stubborn to claim things and fulfill my dreams and desires and fight for them, for my rights and for other people's rights also.
I had a few friends that helped me, and then relationship is a hard thing.
Well, I have many friends, and I'm very happy with them and grateful for them. About relationships, don't know. I'm single now, and I don't know if I will find someone, but yeah. If so, I think it's like all the time with people, you just need to find the right people.
Oh, it's kind of complicated. I mean, I have lots of friends now that I love and I miss back in Greece. Relationships are a little bit hard because there are all sorts of prejudice surrounding the subject of disability and sexuality. I think it depends on the person you have to deal with each time. Some people are more open-minded and some people are what they are. You cannot change them sometimes. It happens, that's life.
I will talk about me personally. I mean, I cannot talk about everyone, but for me personally, friendship is not a problem. At least that is what I believe, or that what I want to believe. I have a lot of friends, a lot of people around me. I am from my school years in the center if there's a epicenter, a Greek word of our social cycle stuff. Yeah, I do a lot of things, so I cannot complain about it. Yeah, the relationships are totally different stories. It's much more difficult to get a relationship when you are disabled because in my case, I am a man, so yeah. So what non-disabled woman expect is, I mean, if you want disabled woman and disabled man, it's difficult practically if the disability is similar to mine. And if it's not disabled woman or non-disabled man and other person is disabled. Usually, the non-disabled person that when he does or she does her or his dreams, he or she expects, the prince with the white horse or the top model of Victoria's Secret, or the guy who will bring the security and stability for me and stuff like that. So yeah, and usually we disabled people are not people representing this because the society judges from the image and not from the what's going inside. But of course, I know a lot of exceptions and friends of mine who have nice relationships or they are married. To have a mentality shift, we need to be integrated in society on equal basis. We have the rights as everyone else. There are also the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, the Convention by the United Nations. So in theory, the governments are obliged to do it. Countries like Greece, Austria, and the EU in general ratified these conventions. Well, so we need to change the mentality shift, which is not easy, as I said, and we have ourselves to fight for that. We have to eliminate the barriers we face, barriers like accessibility, like environmental barriers, like attitudinal or institutional barriers. I mentioned them before, so I don't want to take much of your time saying the same things. Well, we have to do inclusive design, so don't create specifically things about disability, and we don't want special taxes, special access, special this, special that. We want to have the same services with everyone on an equal basis. So I don't want to be in a special place in the airport waiting on a special disability section, but I want to be in the same waiting area with the other passengers. Some airports do this, some airports do that. So yeah, some things like that. And most importantly, independent living. This is the thing I work for. As you know, I am the independent living advocate. Activist maybe is a better word. Yeah, which means that if we have independent living, which basically means choice and controls over our lives, which again basically means personal assistance, people who will work for us and be our legs, our hands, our eyes if we're blind, or even this system work even for people with psychosocial or even intellectual disabilities and multiple disabilities. So it's possible for everyone. Then we can participate on equal level in the society, in the community, and demand and fight for the other things. But if we don't have independent living, in Greece we don't have it, we start the race 2 laps behind the others, because we have to rely on someone, on the families, on our social circle, our friends and stuff like that. And it's not always easy. Not everyone is likely to have the right people around them and to support them. And even if we have the best people around us to support us, it's not their duty to do it, so it shouldn't work like this. And yeah, independent living is a very deep issue. We can talk about it for a lot of time.
Yeah, we can talk
about
about
that. We are disabled by the society and not by our impairments.
the basic part from where I would start is talk more, come forward. People with disabilities need to come forward, talk more, express themselves, express their needs, and claim also their rights and be aware of their responsibilities. And other people should not be afraid to ask if they are curious about something. Both sides, let's say, if there are sides, need to communicate in order to create a common ground. If the mentality changes and the prejudices, then all the rest will come. Accessible buildings, accessible public transport, and everything. But first there is a need to change mentality and be more open about disability. be really open and not afraid about it. We don't bite people.
What is important, I think, is that people with disabilities and people without disabilities, people from different cultures and backgrounds, need to talk to each other and to communicate, get to know each other, do things together, and then it's easy to overcome the barriers.
I really hope that in Russia they made same metro station like in Austria, and I can go wherever I want. And I also hope that people be respect to each other in Russia, because, you know, I live in the big city, but I still feel lonely when I go alone in the street.
There are so many.
That's great.
Yes, just, giving more concerts, teaching at the school, study more, and of course have a happy life with friends and parties. One more thought, maybe to, help people with disability to be part of life and enjoy life more.
For now, I just want to be more active in this field and help other people with disabilities to come out and be stronger, as I did through my EVS. My EVS gave me a great opportunity to gain independence and be autonomous, so I want really to help other people to achieve that. That's why I started this project on the first place. I want to be a writer and write poems. I like this. Have a job that I love. Maybe a family one day, who knows, but I have great friends, so that's it.
I definitely want to do the things and help other people.
I think just in future to be more happy.
Yeah, my dreams and my hopes for the future. To have this mentality shift, to have every person in the world, no matter if he or she is disabled, LGBTQI, fat or thin, tall or short, black or white or yellow or whatever, from Latin America or anything. No matter if you are Christian or Muslim, have all people live together on the same basis, enjoy the same rights, live peacefully together and enjoy the planet and what our society and our culture has to offer to us.
So that was it, people. I hope this project will give you some insight on disability and also give people with disabilities some inspiration to achieve their goals. I'd like to thank everyone that took part in it. Maria Mitkova from Russia, Rieger from Austria, Hofer from Austria, Kamil Goungor from Greece, Nadin Hepper from Germany. And I'd like to thank also Rieger, my koala, and Keenan, who helped me to film this and edit it. And of course, my sending organization, Citizens in Action, and my hosting organization, Grenzenlos, who have given me this great opportunity. It's been fucking amazing, and I love Vienna. And yeah, thank you for everything. That's all from me.